We all face struggles and difficult periods in life. During this time, it can be easy to feel stressed, angry, upset, confused, and sometimes even helpless. And while these are all completely normal responses to have, they don't really do anything for improving our situation. In fact, most of the time, they prevent us from moving forward. So in today's video, we're going to be going through the 5 most powerful ways of getting through difficult times. These are all methods that have personally helped me and will no doubt help you too. Let's get started. Okay, so number 1 is to just accept it. Remember, no amount of worry, complaining, or beating ourselves up is going to change the obstacle before us. So you may as well accept it. What you resist persists. Just like in nature, if you apply enough friction to something, it creates heat. In the same way, if we try to resist or push against the obstacles or problem in our life through worry or wishing it didn't happen, it's only going to make the situation worse. I know, easier said than done. But I've found that whenever problems come up in my life, the moment that I stop resisting it and simply accept it, that it instantly relieves a lot of the tension that I might be having. Now, this isn't to say that you can't take a moment to think to yourself, well, this sucks. You just don't want to stay in that mindset for too long because it will prevent you from moving forward. Instead, we should ask ourselves these questions. How can I use this? What can I learn from this? And can I find a positive in this? When we ask ourselves these questions, we shift our focus onto seeing that the so-called problem may actually be presenting us with an opportunity to learn something new, to grow, to improve our situation, or to lead us down a better path. And that leads us on to our next point. Change your perspective. You see, each of us chooses the way that we perceive things. So it's important to ask ourselves whether our perspective is truly giving us perspective, or whether our perspective is actually causing the problem. As the late Wayne Dyer once said, when you change the way you look at things, the things you look at change. By changing our perspective, we can learn to see the opportunity or advantage in every problem. Transforming our problem into an opportunity to grow, a skill set, a fortune, or a way to help others. You see, what matters most is not necessarily what our obstacles are, but how we choose to see them and react to them. Seen properly, everything that happens to us can be used as a way to move us forward. Okay, so now moving on to number 3, and this one is just 4 simple words. This too shall pass. I still remember a time in my life when every possible thing seemed to be against me. And honestly, at one point, it felt like too much. And I thought that this is the way things were, that this is the way that were going to be forever. I still remember to this day calling my dad on the phone, and he said to me, "Isaac, this too shall pass." And you know what? It did. You see, all things come to pass. And this situation you're now in, it will pass. Always remember that this moment is not your life. It is just a moment in your life. And one day you'll look back and you may even be grateful for it happening because it led you down a better path or helped you to become the person you were destined to be. In spite of all that we may be going through, none of us knows what the future holds. So giving up is never an option. As a famous psychologist and Holocaust survivor, Viktor Frankl once said, "Health, family, happiness, professional abilities, fortune, a position in society, all of these were things that could still be achieved. Whatever we had gone through could still be used as an asset to us in the future." And so this leads us on to our 4th method. And this is probably the most powerful one of them all. And that is to find your why. He who knows the why of his existence can bear almost any how. Viktor Frankl. What does this mean? It means making our dreams bigger than our problems. Why? Because when we have goals or dreams or something larger than ourselves to reach for, everything that happens to us from that moment on is in service of our dream. Put simply, it becomes purposeful. When we know what we are setting out to do, any obstacles that arise naturally become smaller and more manageable. Another way of getting through problems and situations in our life is finding a way that we can use it to help others. For instance, you can take the situation that you're now in and all that you learn from it to benefit, teach, and inspire others. And finally, one last powerful way is to take your focus off of yourself and onto the people in your life who matter most to you and who are relying on you to keep going. Because by being strong for others, it makes us stronger. And finally, number 5 is gratitude. Now, gratitude is probably one of the most powerful, if not the most powerful ways of getting through difficult times, as well as everyday life. You see, what typically happens when a problem comes up in our life is that we allow ourselves to get trapped in a negative mindset and forget all the good things that we still have in our life. But through the power of gratitude, we can change this. And one of the best ways to practice gratitude is to get yourself a journal and every night write down at least 5 things that you're grateful for. By doing this, you effectively change your perspective to focus on what you do have as opposed to what you don't have. To focus on the good in your life as opposed to the bad, which will instantly make you happier. Well, there you have it, guys. There are the top 5 ways of getting through difficult times. Remember, we're all just humans trying to make our way through life, and all that we can ever do is our best. So whatever it is that you may be going through right now, always remember that in life, it doesn't necessarily matter what happens to you. What matters is what you do with what happens and the time that you've been given.